what are the different effects of the fouling? So first, fouling decreases the heat transfer rate, so there is a effect of fouling on heat transfer rate. Fouling on the pressure drop, fouling increases the pressure drop. And the last effect is on the cost. Due to the fouling, there is a huge increase in capital cost and some other costs. Let's discuss it in detail. The first one is a effect on the heat transfer rate. As we know from the equations that due to the fouling, there is an addition of two resistance. Resistance at the inside surface, which is 1 upon AI HSI, and resistance at the outside surface, which is 1 upon AO HSO. So increase in resistance will decrease in heat transfer rate. So this is the effect of fouling on the heat transfer rate. Second is the effect of fouling on the pressure drop. So as we know that most of the heat exchanger removed from the service for the cleaning due to the excessive pressure drop, as compared to inability to meet the heat transfer requirements. So there are most of the heat exchanger which are removed due to this reason, that due to the fouling there is an excessive pressure drop. Okay, so fouling always has a finite, although sometimes small thickness. The change in the flow geometry due to the fouling affects the flow field and the pressure. What happens? As we have seen in previous figure, that due to the fouling, there is a generation of a small thickness film at the inside surface of the pipe as well as at the outside surface of the pipe. Due to that film, due to that unwanted film, there is a change in the geometry of flow. That film decrease the internal diameter as well as increase the outer diameter. In a tabular heat exchanger, a fouling layer roughen the surface, decrease the inside diameter as well as increase the outside diameter of the tubes, which result in the pressure drop. Now, what is the effect of fouling on the cost? So, fouling of the heat transfer equipment introduces additional cost to the industrial sector. The first one is it increase the capital expenditure. Second, it increase the maintenance cost. Third, there are loss of production due to the maintenance. And at last, it result in energy losses. How? Let's discuss. First, in order to compensate for the fouling, the heat transfer area of the heat exchanger is increasing. Pumps and fans are oversized to compensate that oversized area or to compensate increased pressure drop result from the reduction in flow area. Now, high cost materials such as titanium, stainless steel, graphite may be required for certain fouling situations to delay the fouling. Cleaning equipment may be required for the online cleaning. All of these items contribute to increase the capital cost. What is online cleaning and offline cleaning we will discuss at the last segment, which is the technique which is used to minimize or remove fouling. Online and offline cleaning add to maintenance cost. Fouling increases the normal schedule time, which incurred maintaining and repairing equipment. There is loss of production because of operation at reduced capacity or downtime can be costly. Finally, energy losses due to the reduction in heat transfer and increasing in pumping power requirements can be major contributor to the cost of the fouling. The annual cost of the fouling and corrosion in US industries, excluding electric utilities, were placed between 3 to 10 billion in 1982. So this is a huge effect of fouling on the cost. Now there are some categories of the fouling. First is a particulate fouling. Second is a crystallization fouling. Third is a corrosion fouling. Then biofouling and chemical reaction fouling. First, particulate fouling. What is this particulate or particulate fouling? So it is an accumulation of solid particles suspended in the processed stream on the heat transfer surface, result in particulate fouling. In a boiler, this may occur when unburnt fuel or ashes are carried over the combustion gases. Air-cooled condensers are often fouled because of dust deposition. The matter involved may cover a wide range of material like organic or inorganic material, and sizes and shapes. Different kind of submicron or few millimeters in diameter kind of particles are going to be adhered to the surface from where heat transfer takes place. Heavy particles settle on the horizontal surface because of the gravity. Second one is a crystallization fouling, which is mainly due to the salt. A common way in which the heat exchanger becomes fouled is through the process of crystallization. Crystallization arises primarily from the presence of dissolved inorganic salt in the process stream, which exhibits a supersaturations during heating or cooling. The problem becomes serious if the salt concentration is very high. The deposits may result in dense, well-bounded layer referred to as a scale, or a porous, soft layer described as a soft scale, sludge or powdery deposit, which affect the mechanical strength of the heat exchanger. Then corrosion fouling, we all know that there are flow of cold fluid and hot fluid from the heat exchanger, so there must be a corrosion fouling. A heat transfer surface exposed to corrosive fluid may react, producing a corrosive products. These corrosion products can foul the surface provided that the pH value of the fluid does not dissolve the corrosion products as they are formed. Impurities in fuel like alkali metals, sulfur and vanadium can cause corrosion in oil-fired boilers. Corrosion is partially serious on the liquid side, as we all know. Then biofouling, like algae, etc. Deposition or growth of material of a biological origin on a heat transfer surface results in biofouling. Such material may include microorganisms like bacteria, algae and molds and their products, and the resulting fouling is known as the microbial fouling or biofouling. Marine or power plant condenser using sea water are mainly subjected to biofouling. And at last, which is chemical reaction fouling. So from this video you can understand what are these different kind of or parts of the fouling. So here in this video you can see there is a corrosion fouling due to the deposition of corrosion products on the heat transfer surface. We can say that there is steam. There is a chemical reaction fouling. Then biological fouling. So these are the different type of fouling which are found in a heat exchanger. Now, hello students. So now we are going to discuss fundamental process of fouling, or we can say that the sequence by which fouling takes place in different heat exchanger. The fouling mechanism referred as a sequential events that are initiation, second stage is a transport, then attachment, after that removal, then aging. So these are the different stages for the fouling. The first one is the initiation. First the fluid, or we can say that the initiation, during the initiation the surface is conditioned for the fouling that will take place later. Surface temperature, material, finishing, roughness and coating strongly, these are the parameters which influence the initial delay, induction or incubation period. For example, in a crystallization fouling, we have already discussed what is crystallization fouling in our previous slides. In a crystallization fouling, the induction period tends to decrease as the degree of supersaturation increases with respect to the heat transfer surface area. Same in a chemical reaction fouling, the delay period decreases with increasing temperature because of the acceleration of the induction process. As the temperature goes high, the chemical reaction is rapid. Now, second stage is a transport. Once the surface is ready for the fouling deposit, so in a fouling in transport stage, the fouling substance from the bulk fluid is transported to the heat transfer surface. Transport is accomplished by a number of phenomena including diffusion, sedimentation or thermophoresing. So because of gravity, the particular matter, or we can say that the heavy matter, heavy particle in a fluid transported to the inclined or horizontal surfaces. This phenomena is known as the sedimentation. Thermophoresis is the movement of a small particle in a fluid stream where a temperature gradient is present. Between the particle there is a cold wall whose temperature is low and the hot wall whose temperature is high. So cold wall attract the colloidal particles while the hot walls repulse these particles. So this phenomena is known as the thermophoresis. The third stage is attachment. Now the fluid particle, the particles of a foul is going to attach to the surface according to the surface roughness or adhesive properties. So part of the fouling material transported to attach to the surface. Then considerable uncertainty about this process exists because some particle is going to attach and some is not going to attach. We cannot judge primarily. The probabilistic technique are often used to determine the degree of adherence. Forces acting on the particle as they approaches the surfaces are important in determining the attachment. Additionally, properties of the material such as density, size and the surface conditions are most important for the adherence, or we can say that for the attachment stage. At last, removal. Some materials, or we can say that some fouling materials remove from the surface immediately after deposition and some is removed later. In general, shear forces at the interface between the fluid and the depositing fouling layer are considered responsible for the removal. Shear force in turn depend on the velocity gradient at the surface, the viscosity of the fluid and the surface roughness. Dissolution, erosion and spalling have been proposed as a mechanism for the removal, possible mechanism for the removal. Additionally, properties of the material such as density, size and the surface conditions are most important. Erosion, whereby material exits in a particular form, is affected by fluid velocity, particle size, surface roughness and bonding of the material. In a spalling, the material exits as a large mass. Spalling is affected by thermal stress set up in the deposit by the heat transfer process. The last stage is aging. After deposit of fouling on the surface, the aging begins. The mechanical properties of the deposits can change during this phase because of change in the crystal or chemical structure. Slow poisoning of microorganisms due to the corrosion at the surface may weaken the biofouling layer. Chemical reaction taking place at the deposit surface may alter the chemical composition of deposits and thereby change in the mechanical strength.